just that the energies on our planet are starting to increase, and they have been increasing, as you probably have noticed recently. Um, and so when the energies increase, sometimes you might find yourself a bit lost. And the first thing that happens when you're lost is you lose hope. You think, I'm never going to find my way home. I'm never going to figure this stuff out. And so my guides guide me to just come on to give a daily dose of hope for anyone who is needs hope, I guess, right? Um, and so Daily Dose of Hope has three parts: a bit of a talk, a bit of a channeling, and then a guided meditation, which is called the Pocket of Peace. So first of all, as far as the talk, I just wanted to talk a little bit about. Um, I wanted to talk about healing, and so I don't know if you are familiar with this, but oftentimes you hear about pets taking on the physical problems of their owners. We often hear about the pets kind of that look like the owners, but also at times pets will take on. So, for example, if the owner is suffering from some sort of maybe cancer or something like that, the pet will take on that cancer for their owner to try to help them to so that they can heal. And a lot of times when pets get really, really sick, that's what's happening. They're taking on your stuff. So they are very much healers. And I was told this morning. So recently, my heart's been hurting, and first of all, it's just like it doesn't seem right. I don't know why, but then I was talking with my guides about it, and so that's what I'm doing. I'm taking on um, someone who's very close. I'm taking on some of their uh, energy because with my body, I'm able to let it go. It doesn't have to stay here. So I'm kind of taking it into my body, experiencing it, and then letting it flush out of my system. So that was very interesting to me because I didn't realize that. I imagine it's possible to do, but I didn't think I was able to do it. So we'll see how that goes. And another thing I just wanted to share, because I was reading it again today, and it's such an interesting topic for me, is history. There's something called the new chronology that is poo-pooed by the traditional historians, but it is there is a man called Anatoly Fomenko. He's a Russian mathematician who decided to look throughout all of history and find out what the actual dates of history are. And the way that he did this was that NASA, I don't know how long ago, came out with a way to measure all of the times there were eclipses, all of the states of the moon throughout history. And so they published this data. So he used this data, being a mathematician, and then he went through all of these ancient texts to match up when there were certain, I guess, certain eclipses, solar eclipses. They were considered important in history. And so they would write about it. There was an eclipse here, there was an eclipse here. And so he was matching up all of the information. And what he found was that a lot of our history is, for example, one person could be many people. We think that this person lived 1,000 years before this person, but actually they were living at the exact same time. And so that was what he had discovered. And it was being a mathematician, it's very, very intricate. And he wrote about, I don't know how many books, about 16 books about different parts of history. And so it's a very, very interesting thing. And it's a hard read because it's just dense. It's just information, about dates and about, it's not something you can just kind of breeze through, but it's fascinating stuff. And one of the things I just recently discovered that he said was, where is it? The quote. He said that Jesus, Osiris, Buddha, Krishna, Dionysus, Mithras were all literally the same person, literally from the exact same time. Right? So I like this statement though, because it also, for me, a lot of times, like, these beings are kind of, in a sense, archetypes of what we imagine them to be. It's kind of like, we make the stories bigger in our minds, like in history. I always make stories bigger because it's more fun to tell them that way. But we do that all the time. Well, this person, Abraham Lincoln, he was greater, he was bigger than he actually was, in that sense. And we like to make things into Hollywood movies. And but similarly, yes, with all of these, Jesus, Osiris, and all of these different beings, it makes sense. Yeah, to me, I mean, being an archetype, it would be the same person. um, and then all of the stories were just, well, there's another part to this, the flamenco story, is that, and I learned all this from a site, a YouTuber, Mind Unveiled, who they go very, very in depth in all this stuff. So if you want to go really, really deep, you can just check that stuff out. But one of the things is, there was I think, I can't remember the date, 16th, 17th century. There was a Jesuit priest, historian, and I think his name was Scaliger, and he ended up rewriting history. He added a lot of years into history in order so that it made the church look better than it was, and made it look like it had more of a history. And so by doing that, it just screwed up everything, because now we have to get someone like flamenco to come in and try to, like, figure out what was actually what. So I think that's very interesting, and it's a step in the direction of us learning our true history, which is something that, in this time of everything, what was hidden being revealed, is a part of what we will know. And by knowing our history, we'll have power over our future. And it's very, very important for us to know our history. I know in my family, we come from what's called the Queen's Orphans, which were the orphans that were sent over from England, because they didn't have enough space for them. And they're called the Queen's Children. Sorry, it sounds nice on the surface, but they just shipped over all the orphans that they didn't need into America. And that's part of my ancestry. And you can look into that, the orphan train, which is very interesting as well. And then I think my great great grandfather was a hobo during the Great Depression, and he was just traveling throughout, the country. And so all of these different stories is very interesting to me, and knowing the history and wondering, where did we come from, and why were there so many orphans at that time, and why did they have to send them away? So there's a lot of interesting questions there. But so just knowing your history, it's very, very important. And at times, just like everything that is being revealed to all of us, it can be shocking at times, but it's there for us. It's there for us to understand where we come from. And yeah, so I hope I didn't offend too many people with that, but that's not my original thought, though. This is from Anatoly Fomenko, a Russian mathematician who works, I think, where is it? He is a professor of math at the Moscow State University. And yeah, so very well respected mathematician in the Soviet Union. We don't use that anymore. In Russia. Yeah. So, and a lot of, well, I'm not going to go into that. So, but that's very interesting. So I wanted to talk about this sense of taking on someone else's pain in order to clear it for them. And also this idea of history and learning our history and how it will empower us. Because there are so many things that we're being triggered by that are not even true. There's a lot of things that we're being forced to feel emotional about that aren't even based on fact. And if we knew the facts, then we could say, so it's another part of neutrality, understanding that it's possible that some of these stories are not what they seem to be, is another part of unraveling the plot and unraveling all of the fear and the sadness and the anger. So that's why I think it's very important to understand our history So that's what I wanted to say. That's my spiel for today. And I'm going to go into a channeling and see if they have anything else to add to these ideas. So here we go. Greetings. We are that one that you know of as Raphael. You can call us an archangel if you'd like. We prefer Raphael. You can call us Raph. It's up to you, however you'd like to call us. It doesn't really matter. That's not the important part. What we would like to come through today to talk to you about is this idea of healing on your planet. As you understand, it is impossible for you not to be completely and utterly healed. That is your natural state. That is your neutral state. That is the state that you are, should be in. All of you should be in. And if you are not in that state of perfect and utter health, it is possible for you to move into that state because that is your natural state. That is the most perfect state that is possible for you. And so there are many ways of doing this. Now, the idea of being sick, of being in pain, is the idea of being out of alignment, of assigning too much power to your body, of believing that you are a body. The more that you believe you are a body, the more that you believe and you put your faith in the body, and you're putting not the ability to understand who you are. It is a tool